Operation Epic Fury.
Some breaking news at this hour. The Iranian regime is getting absolutely demolished. Over 60 warships sent to the bottom of the Persian Gulf. More than 5,500 military targets obliterated. Their drone factories burning. Their navy gone. And now, in a desperate act of a dying regime, they're attacking civilian cargo ships while their neighbors, their own Arab neighbors, are lining up with President Trump to finish them off. Admiral Brad Cooper just delivered the message the mullahs never wanted to hear. And folks, what I'm about to show you proves this regime is in its death spiral. My question is, are you ready for this? But I'm going to tell you what this means for your family. For 47 years, this terrorist regime has held the world hostage. They've threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz. That's the choke point for 20% of the world's oil supply. Every time you've paid too much at the pump, every time inflation crushed your paycheck, the mullahs in Tehran, they were part of that equation. But now, President Trump is doing what no president has ever done. He's systematically dismantling their ability to threaten global energy ever again. Secretary Burgum said it perfectly. The regime started by taking American hostages, and they've been holding the world hostage economically ever since. The Arab Gulf states, they're now intercepting Iranian missiles and drones. They're begging the United Nations to condemn Iran. The entire region is reorganizing around Donald Trump's leadership. See, this isn't just a military operation. This is the end of an era of weakness. When Iran falls, energy prices will stabilize permanently. Your family's economic security depends on finishing this fight. And speaking of national security, there is a developing story out of Washington that the legacy media does not want you to see. As Iran destabilizes the Middle East, the federal government just made a move that could reshape America's security posture. And here's the truth they won't tell you. Our nuclear submarines, our warheads, our next-generation power grid, all of it depends on uranium. And we import almost every single pound of it from foreign adversaries. This is not about energy independence. This is about survival, because a nation that can't power its own military does not control its own destiny. That's why smart investors are looking at domestic uranium producers like Atomic Minerals, trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada. When national security becomes the #1 priority, and under President Trump it is, companies positioned to supply American uranium become strategically vital. Now, do your own research. There is a full briefing that has been prepared just for Next News viewers. It's down below. But understand this. The uranium supply chain is a national security issue, and that reality is finally being recognized. Now I'm going to show you just how badly Iran is losing this fight. While our military is delivering devastating blows overseas, take a look at what happened right here at home. A suspicious vehicle breached the barricades near the White House. It happened early this morning. Secret Service swarmed the driver, streets shut down, heavy police presence. Is that a coincidence? You see, the timing is very interesting. A cornered regime, is it lashing out? See, we don't really know yet, but what we do know is that Iran just attacked a Thai cargo ship trying to cross the Strait of Hormuz, proving they're getting desperate. I'm going to show you exactly what our sources are reporting. This U.S. Admiral declaring devastating combat power against Iran.
In short, U.S. forces continue delivering devastating combat power against the Iranian regime. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. U.S. combat power is building, Iranian combat power is declining. And we remain centered on very clear military objectives in eliminating Iran's ability to project power against Americans and against its neighbors.
That is only the first remark from the Admiral. His confident onslaught against Iran just got a massive endorsement under Trump's command. This fight isn't just military, it's a total regime takedown. Here's more.
A note about the Space Force. Our space superiority has been a critical enabler to this fight. Unseen by the world, the Space Force is doing two things. First, they're degrading Iranian capability, and second, they're helping to protect American forces. And I'll have to leave it right there.
I'll have to leave it right there. Don't want to reveal too much. Thank God President Trump created the Space Force in his first administration. And now we have this from Caroline Levitt.
Under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump, the rogue Iranian terrorist regime is being absolutely crushed. 47 years of tolerating and enabling the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism are over. Iran's murderous terrorist leaders are paying for their crimes against America, and they are paying in blood. Since 1979, the terrorist Iranian regime has actively and intentionally facilitated the killings of Americans. They chant death to America and fund other radical terrorists who attack our country and are seeking to destroy Western civilization itself.
Western civilization requires defending. With CENTCOM urging civility, the devastation continues as over 60 Iranian ships are sunk. CENTCOM's warning civilians in Iran to avoid port facilities where Iranian naval vessels are operating. Over 60 Iranian ships sunk by U.S. forces, plus more than 5,500 regime targets destroyed. Iran's neighbors are flipping Gulf countries, intercepting regime missiles and aligning with President Trump.
About what it can do here. It thought that if it could strike these other Arab states, that the Arab states would put pressure on the United States to end this war. And this is the same thing that's going on with all this focus in the Strait of Hormuz, too, Dana. They're trying to get Americans here at home to say this war is not worth it, and to try to get Arab states to tell the United States this war is not worth it. It has backfired. The Arab states have now, they want this UN Security Council resolution to condemn the Iranians for carrying out these strikes against these Gulf states. And so there is, I think, great diplomatic success on the part of the United States and Israelis to say, look, the world is now organized against the Iran regime. They're the ones that are isolated. That's going to be really important for this psychological aspect of this war, to get the regime to finally buckle and say, look, we're done fighting. We got to put together some kind of group of people who are going to be more compliant with the United States.
Rebecca Heinrichs.
Think about that for a minute. The Arab nations are lining up against Iran. Why? Because they're targeting civilian sites. President Trump and the United States military, they are strategically targeting the military of Iran and infrastructure there. They're not going after civilians. Not intentionally in any case. And that's why they're going to the United Nations now. The whole game, the whole equation is flipping. Iran's long history of terrorizing escalates with threats to global trade routes as Iran strikes back. Here's Secretary Burgum.
Terrorist regime began 47 years ago by literally taking U.S. hostages. And then here they are 47 years later, slaughtering their own people in the streets and then holding the entire world hostage economically by threatening to close the strait. And of course, President Trump has made it very clear the consequences if they try to do that. And there's a lot of options between ourselves and our allies in the region, including our Arab friends in the region, to make sure that those straits keep open and that energy keeps flowing for the global economy. And again, goal here, eliminate this terrorist regime. That, as Carolyn said in the opening piece there, everything she said, 100% accurate, will bring prices down permanently with peace and stability in the world. President Trump's going to make sure that happens.
President Trump will make sure it happens. And then we have this. Iran strikes a Thai ship attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Some of the visuals out there. A civilian vessel struck by Iran. Another reason why the Gulf states are now calling for the United Nations to condemn Iran. Will Thailand do the same? We don't know. And then we have this security risk. Here's some more pictures from that attack on that Thai vessel. Now, we have also a major drone manufacturing facility in Iran was destroyed overnight. Isfahan is a key hub for Iran's military industry in drone production, so a hit there could disrupt part of its drone supply chain. Again, a strategic pinpoint strike. They're not attacking civilian targets. Apparently also Iran is bowing out of the 2026 World Cup. The sports minister says it's a no-go under such circumstances. Well, there won't be an Iran. Okay? There won't be an Iran to join the World Cup because Iran will be renamed Persia under new leadership. We have to do something about these vans trying to break through the barricades at the White House. Yeah, this happened just this morning.
Some breaking news to report on this Wednesday, and take a look at this. A very active scene just outside of the White House over in Washington, D.C. This live feed courtesy of our partners at Fox 5 in D.C., and apparently a van has driven through a barricade just outside of the White House. We're waiting here for the photographer on the ground to reposition themselves and hopefully get a closer look here at this scene once again, as we are also seeing law enforcement clearing out what looks to be that crime scene tape.
Crime scene tape right outside the White House. Secret Service swarming a suspicious vehicle near the White House. Agents detained the driver, shut down the streets. Some of the visuals from the streets of Washington as our nation remains under threat. Iranian sleeper cells activated. Here's President Trump.
And as you know, we're doing something that nobody ever thought was possible to do. Our military is the best. It's the most powerful in the world, and they're hitting them very hard. This is 47 years of abuse and killing lots of people, killing and maiming lots of people. What is it, Peter?
What more do you need to do militarily for this operation to end?
More of the same, and we'll see how that all comes out. Right now, they've lost their Navy, they've lost their Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all, they have no radar, their leaders are gone, and we could do a lot worse to one another. We're leaving certain things that if we take them out, or we could take them out by this afternoon, in fact, within an hour, they literally would never be able to build that country back.
We could take him out in an hour. President Trump says oil companies should use the Strait of Hormuz.
Are you talking to CEOs of various oil companies, encouraging them to use the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I think they should. I think they should. I think they should use it. In my opinion, look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night. We're up to boat number 60. I didn't realize they had that big a Navy. I would say it was big and ineffective. But every one of their ships, just about all of their Navy is gone at the bottom of the sea.
At the bottom of the sea. So here's what the establishment media just won't tell you. See, President Trump said it himself. Iran has no Navy left, no anti-aircraft capability, no radar. Their leader's gone. He said we could take out the Iranians of their infrastructure within an hour. What remains? Think about that. After 47 years of this terrorist regime murdering its own people, funding Hamas, funding Hezbollah, threatening America and our allies, it's over. The Arab world has flipped. They're not pressuring America to stop. They're pressuring the UN to condemn Iran. The psychological warfare the mullahs tried, it backfired spectacularly, and the world is now organized against them. They're completely isolated, and President Trump made it clear. Peace and stability are coming. And when they do, energy prices come down permanently. So, folks, we're witnessing history. A 47-year reign of terror is ending because America finally has a president willing to use overwhelming force against evil. Our military, the greatest fighting force the world has ever known, is proving why we are the last superpower standing. But here's what I need from you. I need you to text raw feed, that number on the screen. Take a look, 844-840-4963. I need you to text raw feed to that number so that you can get the information that you need, that we create here at the Next News Network. I don't want you to have to wait to be at the mercy of the algorithm or at the mercy of notifications that never arrive, the ones you ask for. Because I want to give you the notification directly from me to your phone. A one-to-one connection that nobody can break. Nobody can stand in the middle. We're never going to let these algorithms and notifications get in the way again. And that's why we set this up, just for you. You see, the mainstream media is going to try to spin the story. They're going to try to make Iran the victim. They're going to ignore the decades of American blood on their hands. Do not let them control this narrative. share this video right now. Get the truth out there. And drop a comment below. Do you think President Trump should finish this job and eliminate the regime completely? Yes or no? I want to hear from you. And if you want to show your support for America First policies, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. We've got great gear that lets the world know where you stand. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.